What is up, my dashing dudes? I am the Hans TV, and today we find out what happens whenever Karens and Richards decide to procreate in today's episode of r/Entitled Kids. Our first post for the day comes from The Players. Entitled Kid tried to make it so it would look like I cheated on a test. I would tell the backstory, but that's so long I would need to make a different post about it. This is a short, but still a story. I'm not sure when this happened, but this one time another kid from our class told me during recess that this one time EK had showed him a little note which contained some math stuff, and had put it under my desk on a day before the math test, so he could, after the test, point out the note under my desk to the teacher so I wouldn't pass the test because I cheated. He apparently did this so I would need to redo the same grade next year for not getting a good score at the end of the year. But luckily this classmate who told me this took the note from under the desk and threw it away. Where I'm from, doing that would justify an ass whooping. This next post comes from Gothic Girl 25. Entitled Niece gets away with destroying something valuable, and I get yelled at. The names in this story are slightly altered, but here's my story. So, August of 2018, my elder 29-year-old brother came from New York to Pennsylvania with his little 3-year-old daughter and his girlfriend, who was the same age as me at the time, 24, but months younger, for a week or two. I hadn't seen them in like 2 years, so I didn't know what to expect. But everything was fine until one day he had his other daughter come over that's 5 years old. His 3-year-old is named Gabby, while his 5-year-old is named Linda. This is about Gabby. My post is how my small niece got away with destroying one of the few gifts I've ever cherished. And I got yelled at by my own parents and elder brother for yelling at my niece for it. So it starts off around 2 to 3 p.m. after the two girls had had their lunch. They wanted to play in my room and I was fine with it, because I did have toys in my room for them to play with if they wanted to. But it was away from my stuffed animals, which they aren't allowed to touch without my permission. Linda knew that. She kept telling her little sister no. But Gabby wouldn't listen. I even told Gabby not to touch what wasn't hers. Didn't listen to a damn thing I said to her. So I placed them up a bit, hoping she'd learn not to touch what isn't hers. Yeah, that didn't go as planned. She found a way to get up to where my stuffed animals were, and when she went to see her father, my brother, who was in my parents' room, he had said something about her having one of my pig plushies. I'm a big pig plush fan, so that alarmed me since I had taken my eyes away from them for a moment to fill out a job application on my laptop. I got up, only to see that Gabby had pulled the head off the pig plush by a string that was holding it to the body. I broke down crying and snapped, which is where it all began. The cast is me, my dad is F, BB is my bro, and G is Gabby. I told you not to touch my things, Gabby. Why didn't you listen to me? I wanted to play. I have toys you and Linda could play with. Now this is ruined because of you. Calm down, OP. It's not the end of the world. You can sew it back on, right? Anyway, it was just a plush. If she wants to play with it, she can play with it. You're not a child anymore, you're an adult. Bro, I told her no before many times. She had toys already to play with. She shouldn't need my stuffies that I keep on display to keep her occupied. Anyway, shouldn't you or your significant other keep an eye on your demon child? Gothic girl, that's enough. You can repair it, then place your stuffed animals in your closet until they leave. But Dad, Don't talk back, just go. So I take my mom's sewing kit as I try to fix my pig plush with tears in my eyes, which let me tell you, that's really hard to do. As I try to, more of the head comes off due to the stream becoming loose. Gabby comes up to me again. I want to play now. Give me. No, get away from me. Go to your mom or something. You're not getting my piggy. It's then that my brother comes out of my parents' room as he sees me on the ground yelling at his child who is on the verge of tears. Hey, stop yelling at my child. It's just a stupid stuffed animal. It's not just some stupid stuffed animal. It's one of the first things I got after the fire happened, you meanie. Take better care of your child. Daddy, I want. You'll get it once she's done. Like hell she is. Don't make me get your significant other. My brother ended up taking his demon child downstairs, and I soon saw a significant other, who I get along with very well. She helped me with my pig plush and my breakdown. Afterwards, we talked for a bit and I calmed down. I quickly paced my stuffies in my closet before Gabby came back up. Where Piggy? I want to play. No more Piggy. Piggy is mine. At that time, my dad called me into his room, and I was scolding for yelling at my brother for not taking care of his crappy daughter, and not having his daughter apologize for destroying one of my stuffed animals. I shouldn't have to repair them because of his crappy way of watching her. I was then told to apologize to my brother. I did reluctantly, which he never forgave. He then told me that I had to let his daughter play with my pig plush again. I just left without a word to him. When I got back to my room, my youngest niece was looking around for the pig and was going for the closet when I intercepted her. "No, Gabby, go play elsewhere. I'm done with you being in my room." "Play Piggy, play Piggy." "No, don't make me you onto the couch." "Play Piggy, play Piggy." I picked her up and went downstairs to gently yeet her onto the couch and told her to stay put, which never happened. She screamed and cried. I ended up getting yelled at by my brother again because of his child. I just ended up ignoring him and taking Linda to the park with my youngest sister. I'll never understand how parents, especially people like these who become parents, whenever they immediately have a child, they become all, "Your stuff is mine now. My kids can play with it even if you say no. Who cares if they break it?" No, they can't, Richard. You're an ass. This next post comes from Sinful Little Girl. Kid pisses his pants to get what he wants. I work at a grocery store that is mainly in Ohio and Michigan. For a little backstory, I usually work from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., so it's later in the evening. I was working in the grocery aisle side self-checkout at the time. I was working with my usual coworker who stays till 3 a.m., and another coworker who took my spot whenever I was going to clock out for the night. He was there till 12 a.m. Here's the script. Me equals me, obviously. My usual coworker is UC. The unlucky coworker is ULC. Entitled Kid, EK, Single Mother, SM, and Off the Clock Worker is OOC. It was about 8:45 when a single mom and her 2 boys came into the store. They were regulars, so I knew how the kid was. Every time they were in there, this kid wanted something. He would scream at his mother to get it for him, and she would calmly say no every time, but he would throw complete temper tantrums. This kid is around 12 years old, I may add. So, the night is going pretty well. The store is pretty much dead by then, with a few customers who would buy alcohol, and we have to age check them. ULC came up to me. He's a nice guy, and we joke around a lot. ULC: "Yeah, I'm just gonna chill with you and UC until you clock out. There's not much left to do at this point." "Alright, cool, we can catch up." Me, ULC, and UC are having a conversation while going to help customers. By this time, it's 10 o'clock, so I go to clock out. My mom needed me to get a few things before I went home, so after I clock out, I go to grab a cart. I come back to the self-checkout area with my stuff, and this is around 10:15. I go to check out and see the EK. He's on one of those ride-around carts we have for the older customers and people with disabilities. He doesn't have a problem walking or running for that matter, so I know he didn't need it. More or less, his mother kept telling him to get off the cart, and he refused many times. As she's checking out, he rides up with a metal coffee cup. Here is where it gets good. I'm just minding my own business and checking my stuff out. EK: "Mommy, I want this. No." Single mother, very softly: "EK, no, you don't need that. Please put it back." "No, I want it." "Honey, I said no. Not this time. Please behave." The entitled kid just starts crying on the floor and rolling over this electric cart saying, "Please, I want it." At this point, the single mother is very embarrassed and on the verge of crying. She says, "I'm so sorry," and continues to check out. EK, knowing he's not getting anything else from his mom, does the only thing he can think of doing. He hatched a big smirk like he was gonna win this battle. He proceeds to pee his pants on the electric cart and says, "Now you have to buy it for me. I had an accident and it's your fault." His mom looks at him horrified and looks at UC and ULC and says, "I'm sorry," and drags both her kids out of the store. ULC is freaking out and tries to call part of the janitorial staff to clean it up. As cashiers, we don't have the right equipment up in the front to deal with a situation like that. ULC, please can you send anyone here to help? The urine is gonna ruin this cart." The person in charge of that department and the rest of the staff are gone for the night, and ULC was pissed off. He just goes and cleans it up with just paper towels and cleaner. UC was just in a state of shock. She looks at me and we both have this look of, is this really happening? Then out of nowhere, I see OOF, and he is just laughing. He can't control it. In the end, the pee got cleaned up and I have a story. Unfortunately for OOF for laughing at ULC. ULC, without washing his hands, lays his hand on OOF's arms. ULC, it's not nice to laugh, as he laughs at OOF's gagging. I wish I could say that this wasn't normal for older people nowadays, but I mean, you see people upwards of like 16 to 18 still acting like this, and it's absolutely terrifying. Our final post for the day comes from Wandering Thoughts. An entitled brat who's 17 refuses to eat perfectly good dinner and demands McDonald's. Hello, entitled kids. This is my first post here and probably won't be my last, as I'm the older sibling to a rather difficult EK. This time, like a lot of times in my house, it's a matter of food. The cast is the normal suspects. EK is a big guy. I'm throwing it out there because while this isn't a problem in and of itself, he has an appetite that's nearly as big as he is. The bigger problem is that he is extremely picky and will flat out refuse to eat anything that doesn't suit his liking. It's normal to dislike certain things, but most people learn to pick them out or find something else to eat around the house. Not EK. Today my dad has a night off of work, which he hasn't had in almost a full week. My mom is extremely happy about this and planned out a full, proper meal, as opposed to the usual mom on a budget dinners we have, of stuffed peppers, one of my dad's favorite foods. EK, however, hates green peppers. Mom knew this, so she made sure to save some of the filling so he could put cheese on it and have it in a bowl instead of in a pepper. Note, the filling consisted of rice, ground beef, and tomato sauce. Good stuff. She told him this, but he insisted that it wasn't a real dinner, and he needed something better. She suggested that he make a sandwich, or some microwave ramen. EK said he is sick of ramen and refuses to eat a sandwich unless mom buys him roast beef to put on it. At this demand, mom points out that she made roast beef, actual roast beef, a nice fancy dish she made special the other day, and there was still plenty of leftovers. EK said he didn't want it, so she suggested various other leftovers we have in the fridge. He refused everything she brought up. EK then threatens to go through the freezer, find some oven prep meal we'd usually have another night, and eat his fill. He has done this before, with chicken patties and nuggets and the like. This time he had his eyes set on bean burritos. This is a problem because, as I mentioned earlier, he has a really big appetite. He would eat so much that we wouldn't have enough food to feed everyone else in the house, family of 5. So naturally, mom doesn't want him getting into dinner foods. She tells him that if he does, there will be a serious consequence. So, as a final shot, EK demands McDonald's. He gets shot down immediately. I would continue, but this issue is actually still going on, and I don't know what he'll end up eating. I'll consider editing this post later if anyone wants to know. Well, alright my dashing dudes, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/EntitledKids. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'll link them down in the description as always. And if you liked the video, subscribe, drop a like, and a comment down below of what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to all of my patrons and all of my subscribers. We're at 156 subs right now, and I cannot wait to see where this year takes us. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.